Hey folks, Tommy Highway here. For those of you who don't already know this, I've been an IT professional for decades. I've worked for companies like Microsoft, I've worked for the government, I've worked for other major corporations, and I've had a career again that spans decades. I've seen every Microsoft operating system release since Windows 98. I've been a part of it, I've been in it elbow deep, I promise. And people are asking me about Windows 11. What are the problems with it? Why is it so universally hated? Well, there's a couple different reasons for this. And again, this is just in one technician's opinion. The biggest thing I saw was the fact that companies out there, large and small, were having to scrap perfectly good hardware. In other words, perfectly good PCs that were running their organization flawlessly without any problem. There was no performance issues. But now, because of Windows 11 has a certain security feature, older PCs cannot run Windows 11. Okay, it's basically a hardware lockdown situation in so many words, and it didn't need to be there. But that change right there caused corporate America, small businesses, large corporations, everybody in between. It caused all of those customers to have to go out and spend anywhere from hundreds to tens of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars on brand new hardware and throw away, again, PCs that were fine. They were running the organization without any issues. That was problem number one. Then it came out that essentially Microsoft is, for lack of a better term, spying on people's data. They're backing up every single thing that a person does on a PC, including every one of their keystrokes. Now, as an IT professional for over the last, again, several decades, I can't tell you how many times I've had to install like a malware software or antivirus software, things like that on PCs because they got infected with a certain spyware called a keylogger. In other words, anytime a person types something like a password or whatever, that information gets sent someplace that's not supposed to go to. Okay? Again, we've been installing software for years to prevent this from happening, and Microsoft puts it right in the box. It was very, very puzzling. Now, I can recall every release of Microsoft's operating systems since Windows 98. That's when I got into the game. So that's how far back I go. And I remember the goods, the bads, the what worked, what didn't work. I remember all of that for each operating system. Trust me very well because I probably worked on, thousands of tickets on all of these problems. But the keylogger thing was a problem. The fact that they had to throw away perfectly good hardware, that was a big problem and is a big problem. Okay? But then you've got reports of them running advertisements on your operating system. That is an absolute no-no. Microsoft just got their hands in this too deep, in the operating system too deep. They've taken certain liberties with people's data that they had absolutely no right to take whatsoever. So, there is an alternative. And there's something called Ubuntu Linux out there that is really matured. It's matured into an operating system that is now worth running in a corporate environment. Absolutely. It's worth running in your home. It's simple, it's easy, it's free. It's a free download. Any knucklehead with a GED can install it on any system out there in about 20 minutes. It just works. It is called Linux Mint, and it is basically, in my opinion, I won't go as far as say a clone of Windows 7, but it looks a lot like Windows 7. Once you see the desktop, you and everybody else that's, let's say, that's been in the workforce for 20 years or so, that you're going to recognize it. It's very, very easy. It stays out of your way. You can install just about every kind of software on it that you can run on Windows for the most part. I mean, really, your accounting software now comes on Linux, the whole nine yards. Okay, so the compatibility is no longer an issue. This thing they're also updating it. They've got people that update this just like Microsoft does, even though you don't really need that many updates because they started off with a good product. You see, Microsoft has a bad habit, in my opinion, and I wouldn't even call it a bad habit. I'd call it a business model of releasing an operating system that just barely works out of the box. Okay? They release it into the public uses it, and based on public feedback, they fix those problems. Okay? So in other words, the operating system is belching smoke right out of the garage. All right, it really is. And they're guinea pigging the public. And again, just one man's opinion, they're guinea pigging the public into fixing flaws that never should have been on the operating system at its release. Linux does not do that. You get a solid operating system. It's managed for security. It's clean. It's efficient. It's compatible with at least 95% of the software that you may be running in your particular organization. It's perfect for a home user. You can install any browser you want. And the best part of it is it runs on very old hardware like a scalded cat. Okay, no problem. I mean, I'm running it on a machine that's got a Gen 4 i3 processor, I believe, on it, and 8 gigs of RAM, and it runs great. In fact, it's the best running machine in my personal network. So that's just something to think about. But a lot of people have just they're coming at me with Windows 11. What should we do? I don't know. If you want to stay in the Microsoft environment, then you're just going to have to play by their rules, and that's really unfortunate. It's unfair, but it's the way it is. You don't really own your operating system with Windows 11, in my opinion. You're essentially leasing it from Microsoft. Okay, that's just no good. That's just wrong in so many different levels. Anyway, so if you wanted to actually try Windows Linux, I'm talking about Linux, Ubuntu, Mint, then that's exactly what I would try. I mean, if you've got an old laptop, an old PC or whatever, just go out and download it. Just Google, Ubuntu, Mint, and you'll see it. Make sure that you're looking at the right URL. I'll see if I can put it in the description below. But give it a try. I think once you give it a try, you're going to throw Microsoft and Windows away. I think that we're looking at the Windows swan song. I think they've finally gone too far at Microsoft. Now they're trying to backpedal. Like, for instance, the Copilot thing. They're pushing AI on the customers, whether they want it or not. I mean, they don't even understand AI. They don't know what to do with AI yet, but yet they're trying to push this on people. It's like giving the Amish a nuclear reactor. What are they going to do with it? Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming by. If you have any questions, please put in the comments below, and have a great day.